Hey folks, Chuck Long here with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Welcome back to the Long household. We're here today. We're going to be doing a little bit of cooking. Today we're going to be doing poor man's lobster. Now the unique thing about this recipe, you can make it taste however you want it to. You can use lemon pepper. You could use some type of crab boil, which we're going to use. You can use just salt. You can use a variety of ingredients here. And if you look online, there's a multitude of recipes. One unique thing we're doing today with our recipe is we're using freshwater drum. A lot of people don't look at the drum as a fish preferred for the table. You know, it's a very firm meat. Once you get a drum clean, it's very pretty. I highly encourage you to look at it for a table fare. They're very easy to catch this time of year. You see a lot of them, and they're running up our ditches and our rivers right now to spawn. So get out, catch you some drum. That's what we're using for our recipe. This is a real simple. Our take on poor man's lobster is going to be using Zatarain's, a little bit of lemon juice, some paprika, butter, and a little bit of sugar. Now the sugar in poor man's lobster actually kind of imparts that sweet taste you get out of seafood. So we're going to put this together. Hope you enjoy. Now here we have our drum fillets. They're right here. Now one thing that I like to do anytime I'm processing, and this actually goes for any game, I'll take any game that I process, whether it be fish or ducks or doves or deer, and I like to take it. I don't like to soak it in water. I like to put it in a colander and then set it in the refrigerator for a while, maybe 3 to 4 days. That makes it easier to cut. And what the colander does, it allows all the moisture to drain out. Now, I'm also going to have it covered with foil so it doesn't dry out. But I like using this right here. So we're going to take some of our drum today, and we're going to cut it up, and we're going to make poor man's lobster. Now you can see the drum, very, very nice looking fish. Very pretty fish. One thing you'll notice on this side, it does have some dark meat. So we're going to trim this a little bit to get it ready for our poor man's lobster. I'm just going to take a good sharp knife. I'm going to concentrate on this red meat. I just want to get this red meat out as much as I can. Now, if it's just right on the top, I'm not too worried about it. I'm worried about this deep red meat. And then I'm going to chunk up the rest of it. And what I'm doing, I'm just going right down the what would be the lateral line on the fish, and just cutting my chunks in two. And we're going to do about 4 fillets. And again, this fish has been in the refrigerator for about 3 days. I like doing that because it makes it easier to cut. One more fillet. And you know, drum are easy to catch. We just caught these the other day. I took some guys out. We went out to a local waterway and caught these just fishing off the bank. They're very accessible during the months of late March, April, and May. Very accessible here in Arkansas. I'd highly recommend you get out and give them a try. And again, they're a pretty good food fish. So we have our drum cut up. Tell you what, let's do one more fillet. Got a small one here. Again, cut out the red meat. Now, there's really no bones, and I just filleted this the same way I would a bass or a crappie or any fish like that. I left a little rib bone right here. Pull it out. And so we have a nice boneless fillet, and I highly recommend it. Well, we're back here with on our stove. We're about to put our drum in our pot here. Basically what I've done, if you look right here, I've taken, it's about probably 6 or 8 cups of water, just enough to fill my pot I've got here. And I want a fairly large pot. I want it spread out pretty good because I want my fish to have plenty of space, and I don't want to have to bump them because they're going to get somewhat tender as they cook. If you know fish, fish breaks down pretty quick. Now, so I've added my water, and in this case, I've added a pack of Zatarans, crab oil, about a quarter stick of butter, and about a cup of sugar. And what that's going to give us, that seafood flavor. A little bit of sweetness. The crab boil is going to give us that flavor. And so we're going to put our fish in here. Now, you notice I don't have a real hard boil. I don't want a real hard boil. I want a very light boil and just enough to cook our fish. It's going to take about 5 minutes. So let's put our fish in. And you want to make sure they're spaced out. Again, fish are pretty fragile. Now, drum are very unique. They are not as fragile as maybe a crappie or a bass. So we're going to put them in here. And then we are going to let this sit for about 5 minutes. Again, keeping it at a very low boil. And we'll let it sit for 5 minutes. Once we let them sit, we're going to take them out of there. We're actually going to put them in the oven for about another 5 minutes. All right, we're back again. Our fish are done. Our fish are done. We can tell by they're starting to float a little bit. So we're going to gently take them out of our bowl. I'm going to drain them a little bit with a slotted spoon. All right, next we're going to add a little bit of butter. And this is just some butter I melted. And again, I'm not really, this is not really a recipe where you measure a whole lot. And the unique thing about this, boiling the fish like this, you can make it taste any way. If you'd rather have lemon pepper, add some lemon pepper. If you like the Old Bay flavor, add Old Bay. If you like I've done, the crab boil, add crab boil. Add the sugar if you want it sweeter. Take the sugar away if you want it less sweet. Now we're going to take a little paprika. And what this does, this kind of gives it some color for one thing. It'll kind of trap a little bit of moisture. And this is just regular paprika. Just sprinkling it on our fish. Again, this is drum. And we have it ready. Now I've got my oven set on low broil, and I'm going in the oven for about 3 to 5 minutes, to get it done, and we'll be ready to eat. Well, we've been in the oven about 5 minutes with our fish. We're going to take it out, see what we got. There's our finished product. Again, this is drum, called Poor Man's Lobster. You can season it however you want. We're going to go ahead and add a little bit more lemon, or a little bit more butter. Lemon pepper is good on this. Any kind of seasoning. If you like garlic, garlic's a great way to season this up. We're going to add some butter. And just a little bit of lemon juice. And there's our finished product. Again, this is Poor Man's Lobster. You can see how it looks on the tray. Get a spoon, I'll show you a piece up close. Here's our finished product. Again, this is drum, Poor Man's Lobster. Again, you can season this any way you want to. If you'd rather go with lemon pepper, if you'd rather go with garlic, a garlic type seasoning, a stronger hot sauce type seasoning would work well on this. But the basics of it are you cook the fish, you boil the fish. For our recipe today, basically all we use was some Zatarain's boil to boil our fish. And we also used half a stick of butter. We used about a cup of sugar to get a little bit of sweetness. And then after that, we just used some paprika and we used some lemon juice. And that's about it. Hope you'll get out and enjoy the outdoors. Get out, catch you a few fish, bring it home, cook it, clean it, and eat it. Feed it to your family. Very healthy meal. Thanks for watching.